Hello Flosstube, Lynette here at Homesteading on the Homefront. You will be seeing this video on Sunday, July 14th, 2019 as part of a Flosstube collaboration in Designer Spotlight. I was thrilled this afternoon. I had just come in from mowing the lawn, so I was all sweaty and gross because it's hot and humid here. And I got a message from Cheryl who asked if I would be interested in being a part of this collaboration, and I said absolutely. And so it actually didn't take me very long to decide which three designers I was going to spotlight for you today. Some of these are oldies and you've never seen them before because most of them were in storage when we were in Guam, which meant even if I wanted to show them to you, I couldn't. Two of them I had almost forgotten about, and it was only after I was doing some research online that I realized, oh wait, I've stitched those and I have them, and so I had to go find them for you. So they are out of their boxes, and I am excited to share them with you today. So basically, I'm sure that you've seen other videos by now, but if this is your first collaboration video, the deal is that Flosstubers who are participating chose three designers to spotlight. They could be current designers, they could be vintage designers, but designers who we thought needed more attention or deserved to be highlighted. So the three that I'm going to talk to you about today are Mary Beal, Margaret Margaret, and Leisure Arts. Now, I kind of cheated with the Leisure Arts because technically they're not really a designer. I believe they're a publisher. But back in the day, in the 90s, when I was stitching like a fool because I didn't have children or a husband, Leisure Arts was basically it. They published all of the things. And so I wanted to choose them today to talk to you about them. I'm just going to jump right in. I'll talk to you about Leisure Arts first. Many of you are familiar with Leisure Arts. They are still active. In fact, this just bought this last summer. See that? Hobby Lobby. Yeah, I'm a big spender. I bought it because it has this design in it. So I saw the beehive, and I don't know if I'll ever stitch it, but for $1.20, I figured it was worth it. So as you can see, Leisure Arts is responsible for this pamphlet. So they are still publishing. They have their own website. According to that website, they have been at it since 1971. And they don't just do cross stitch, they do knitting and crochet and diamond painting and the whole nine yards. You will probably also be familiar with Leisure Arts because they are the genius behind these holiday books that I know people on Flosstube have shown them. You've seen them. This is book 10. So Leisure Arts is responsible for all of these guys as well. See, Leisure Arts. What you might not have known is that Leisure Arts was also the vehicle that many designers used in the 80s and 90s in order to get their works published. Paula Vaughn, Leisure Arts. Marjolaine Baston, Leisure Arts. Teresa Wentzler has published under Leisure Arts. And Dee Morgan as well. Just a few of the designers that used Leisure Arts to get their works out to the public. I showed this one in my very first video. It's falling apart. So those of you who have not gone back to watch that terrible thing that I call video 1, this is a Leisure Arts publication called Moments to Remember. Dee Morgan is the designer. I stitched this one in 1999, and I changed all of the words in order to fit my life. So I will read it to you. You can see, look at my ghetto framing job. Falling apart, I need to retape it. It says, pout fishing beneath the stars, swimming at camp, and matchbox cars, yard sales, flea markets, and country lanes, a thunderstorm and a summer rain, walking sticks and fresh country air, clam fritters, and the Woodstock Fair, mom's home cooking and playing in snow, country music on the radio, Aunt Audrey's songs begging for more, that fur hat my daddy wore. Sometimes in April or deep in December, those magical moments are sweet to remember. So, yes, obviously the Woodstock Fair and Aunt Audrey's songs and country music, all of that stuff was things that I wanted to immortalize in stitching. So I kept the basic poem and changed some of it to fit what I wanted to remember. So this is a D. Morgan. It's still available on eBay if you're interested. Published under Leisure Arts. The next one that I have is called Peace and Plenty. This was also published by Leisure Arts. Also still available. I stitched this one also in '99. Must have been a prolific stitching year. I would probably change the colors if I stitched it again today. It looks very 90s, doesn't it, with these jewel tones? But I love those colors. So this one has been rescued from a box in the basement, and I will have to find a place for it. So again, still available. I got on eBay just to check and see, and I was able to find all of these patterns that I'm going to show you. So yeah, nothing out of, well, they might be out of print, but they're not hard to find. The next one I'm going to show you is the original Lady of the Flag. Back when I had moved into my first apartment, my bedroom was red, white, and blue. This was well before I knew that I was going to be a military wife. He was not even on my radar. So my bedroom was red, white, and blue, and I decided that I wanted to stitch patriotic things. And so I stitched this one in what year? '94. And this is Leisure Arts Liberty Angel. It is leaflet number 2054. It's terribly framed. I need to go in and stretch it now that I know how. It is stitched on linen. No, I'm sorry, Aida. All of these things are stitched on Aida. I didn't start stitching on linen until 2012 or 13. And there's a glare. So this is what she looks like. Also still available out there on the internet. And then the next two are the ones that I mentioned that I had stitched and forgotten about until I was looking for Leisure Arts patterns on eBay and saw them. And so the first one I stitched in 1997. This one is called Grandma's Quilt. Also stitched, it looks like fiddler's cloth or oatmeal, some type of Aida like that. So this was hanging in the playroom when we lived in Virginia, and then it went into storage when we were in Guam. And then the following year, 1998, I stitched the companion piece, which is called Grandpa and the Boy. Stitched on the same Aida, same colors, framed with the same mat. This was before I had kids, and I was convinced that I was going to have one boy and one girl. Yep, we know how that went. Okay, so I think that's all for leisure arts. If you're interested in some of these oldies, get on eBay and just type in leisure arts cross stitch and a bunch of them will come up. Some of them are very dated, very 80s, very 90s, but some of them are timeless. And so I encourage you to get on and see what you can find. The next one I'm going to talk about is Margaret and Margaret. As the name implies, there are two women named Margaret who specialized in samplers. Their website is margaretandmargaret.com, so do not go on eBay and spend crazy amounts of money on their patterns because everything is available on their website. The pattern that I am going to show you today is called the Many Mansions Sampler. And I actually stitched this one in 2008. Between 2002 and 2012, I can probably count on one hand the number of pieces I stitched. Between getting married and having kids and then having young kids and then getting into rubber stamping and card making and scrapbooking, I did not do a lot of stitching in those years. But this was one of the pieces that I did stitch. And as you can see, or as you will see, I changed it up because you know me. Even 10 years ago, I wanted it to fit in a standard size frame. So this is what mine looks like. And I will show you what I changed. I can get back here. Oh, look at all the glare. So mine, I eliminated these two houses. So basically what I did is I stitched the border and then I started with the main house and then I just added in both directions until I came to the border. The wording is the same verse, but because mine was thinner than the original, I had to change it up. I did fit it all in though. The whole verse is there. Instead of this alphabet here, that's where I signed it with my initials and date, and the crown, and the alpha, and the omega. And I also used a different alphabet. See that alphabet on top, how fancy it is? I used a much more traditional sampler font for that. So this one, basically, once I stitched the border, it was just a matter of filling in order to make it work. So this one wasn't a hard one to resize at all. So that's Margaret and Margaret. They are now based out of McKinney, Texas. They've been designing since 1985. I do not know if they are still currently designing, but like I said, their website is up and running. You can go shopping on their website. Everything that they have is still available. So do not pay stupid eBay prices for their gorgeous samplers. And then the third designer who I'm going to spotlight is Mary Beal. I first discovered her when my husband's grandmother passed away, and she was an avid cross stitcher. I've mentioned her in the past. We actually have I have some stitches that she had started before her stroke, and then I finished when she was no longer able to cross stitch. So those mean everything to us. But when she passed away, we were given a couple of ornaments that she made. And after searching high and low, I discovered that they were Mary Beal's. And so I wanted to get the rest of the set so that I could stitch them, and each girl could have a whole set with some from their great-grandmother and some from their mother. And I got on eBay, and they were going for crazy, stupid eBay prices. Then I discovered that Mary Beal has a website, just like Margaret and Margaret, and everything is available for download on her website. Now, I did search for those ornaments, but they are downstairs in Christmas boxes, and without unpiling the leaning tower of boxes that we have down there, I was not able to find the actual ornaments. But I do have these to show you, because Mary Beal is probably most well known for her Christmas stockings. I had this one. I just nabbed this one at the freebie table at StitchCon. And she's got a whole line of these stockings. I think there's, I don't even know how many there are. But this magazine is dated 1985. So she's been at it for a while. Beautiful samplers, very prim designs. If you like the Hawk Run Hollow series, you need to go on her website and check out the piece that she has. It's amazing. Like I said, everything of hers is still available. Go on her website, check them out. Okay, Leisure Arts, Margaret and Margaret, Mary Beal. Those are my 3 designers that I decided to spotlight for you today. I encourage you to go check out all of the other Flosstubers who are participating. I will link them below, along with the websites for the 3 designers that I highlighted today. I hope you enjoy this series. I think it was a great idea. So thanks, Cheryl, for coming up with it, and thank you for asking me to be a part of it. Fair winds and following seas, Flosstube.